This lecture is on the cardiovascular system, its introduction, and I'm going to give you a quick précis on what blood actually does. So, the cardiovascular system, then, is made up of, first of all, blood, which is the circulating fluid, and the heart, which is the pump for all that fluid, and the blood vessels, which are the conducting tubes for all that fluid, and those things together make up the cardiovascular system. So I'm going to start then on what blood does. So blood has many different categories of things that it does. So first of all, it transports dissolved gases. You know that. So it transports oxygen then from your lungs to your body tissues, and it transports carbon dioxide then from your body tissues and to your lungs. Then, second, it distributes nutrients. You know that. It transports metabolic wastes, and it takes them then to various excretion sites, like your kidneys. Fourth, it delivers enzymes and hormones to specific target tissues, and it regulates pH, that is to say how acid or alkaline something is. So it regulates pH and electrolyte composition of the interstitial fluids. So what's important here is that your blood is only what actually gets these various different things to your tissues. But within your tissues, circulating around the cells of your tissues, you have this fluid called interstitial fluid, sometimes also called extracellular fluid. And that is the fluid that does that final step of bringing the oxygen, of bringing the nutrients to your cells and washing away the wastes. So it's very important that that fluid that is right around your cells have a composition that keeps your cells happy. So as I said, they have to have the right electrolyte balance. They have to have the right pH. Your cells are fussy that way. And so the extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid has to get those right. So I'm just going to add in that this regulatory function then is necessary because active tissues like muscles tend to generate acids. So you have then your cells and you have the fluid around your cells, but the problem is that some of your cells, particularly the really active ones, are going to be generating acids just by virtue of being alive. So as a result, the blood has to come along and then re-regulate, change basically the pH around your cells. Your cells are busy creating acids, and that is actually a bad environment for those cells. So therefore, that environment has to be changed, and that's what I mean then by this, by number 5. So then here is another really cool thing that blood does, and this is quite remarkable when you think about it. Blood, the fluid itself, then restricts fluid loss. Think about it. Blood clots itself. Blood actually also lays down the healing structures inside your blood vessels in order to heal a wound. So, as I said, rather than the blood just flowing out of your blood vessels when you get a cut, the blood helps repair it. So it restricts fluid loss then from damaged blood vessels. And it does this then so it does this by clotting. And the clotting then seals the breaks in the vessel walls. Another important thing that blood does is that it defends the body. Against toxins, that is to say poisons of different varieties, and pathogens. Pathogens are microorganisms that want to make you sick. So it does this. It does this defending then through a bunch of different mechanisms. I'm going to get started on that here. First of all, by transporting white blood cells. And these white blood cells then are specialized cells that migrate into peripheral tissues to fight infections and remove debris. So that's just one of the ways then that your blood winds up defending the body. So it brings in the white blood cells, that's one thing. Another thing then that blood does to defend the body is it does it by delivering antibodies. And these then are basically special proteins that attack invading organisms or foreign compounds. So what did I just say there? What I am getting at here regarding, as I said, delivering antibodies. What's going on there is that antibodies are these tiny proteins. You can think of them as being like very specialized protein robots. They are a part of your specific immune system. I hope you recall that with your general immune system, you will wind up having anything that your body perceives as having come from outside the body. All of those things will be attacked, regardless of their general identity. They will simply be attacked because they are non-self. They were not made by the body. They are unfamiliar. That's how your general immune system works. Your specific immune system takes longer to get going, but it is very powerful once it gets going. And your specific immune system needs to get to know a given invading microorganism. And once it starts to understand it, then it can make lots and lots and lots of proteins that can be released into the blood that will attack that specific invading microorganism. Those specific proteins are your antibodies. As I said, think of them like little protein robots. They're cheap, they can be made in their thousands, and once your specific immune system starts doing this, you then have a very good chance of fighting the infection if it has not progressed too far. So, see, we're still talking about body defense here. Another thing that the blood does then is that it defends the body by receiving toxins. Various different kinds of poisons then. That are produced by infections and by physical damage, or even just plain metabolic activity. So it receives those toxins and then delivers them to the liver and the kidney. Where they can be inactivated or excreted. So it washes poisons away, brings the poisons to where they can be dealt with. And then finally, blood also, and this is now we're done with defense, so we're now on to a different function of the blood. And this then is that blood helps to regulate body temperature by absorbing and redistributing heat. Okay, what did I mean by that? This is actually a really important thing to understand. It goes like this. Basically, your body, when it's active, produces heat. On the other hand, the environment around your body is usually colder than normal body temperature. So what the blood does then, actually, by way of the blood vessels, first of all, if your muscles are generating heat, then as the blood flows through and around those muscles, that heat is going to be carried off and redistributed to the rest of your body. On the other hand, if your body is in danger of overheating, then the blood vessels near the surface of your skin are going to open up, and as a result you will have lots of blood flowing near the surface of your skin and radiating out into the environment. And that is why, if you exercise very hard on a cold day, for instance, you may wind up getting pink skin. That's your body trying to radiate off the excess heat that your body has generated, even on a cold day. Likewise, if it is a cold day and you are not getting exercise and your feet are cold and your hands are cold and maybe you're walking somewhere and you didn't bring a jacket along and you start feeling pretty chilly, what's going to happen then is that your peripheral blood vessels are actually going to squeeze shut. Maybe not entirely, but to a great degree, so that way you are actually keeping your body heat inside. You're not going to be radiating as much out to the environment. And this is why in circumstances like that, when you get where you're going and you get inside, you have a cold nose, you have cold hands, you have cold feet. That is the body restricting blood flow to the peripheral tissues in order to conserve body heat. So whether your body's trying to get rid of body heat or whether your body is trying to conserve body heat, one way or another, this is done partly through blood flow. And that's it for this lecture.